This video will demonstrate using Visual Studio 2012 and WCF services to create an oData feed. This will expose a table from SQL Server 2012 using HTTP. After creating the service, you will see how to begin creating business intelligence dashboards using the free Tableau public edition with oData as the source. So we'll begin with a basic WCF service application. WCF creates a couple of sample files that we won't need, so I'm going to go ahead and delete those. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add an ADO.NET Entity Data Model to my project. I have a local SQL Server instance that contains a cube dataset with multiple dimensions and facts flattened out inside of a single table. I can use a dot in the server name to represent my local SQL Server instance. Observe the name of the connection settings because you'll be using that later in your WCF service. Now you can choose the objects that you'll be making available through the service. In my database, I only have a single table called BCS. This table contains information for Bidwix Consulting Services. The next step will be adding the service itself, so I'll right-click the project and add a WCF data service in order to use oData. A couple quick changes to my service file and we'll be ready to go, consuming data out of SQL Server. Remember the name that I pointed out earlier. We're going to use that here as the type that we inherit from for our service. A couple of quick changes to a line of commented out code and will allow unrestricted read access to the data. Change the value of the first parameter to an asterisk and then uncomment the line. Next, I will build and test my solution. In the Solution Explorer, right-click the service that you just created and view it in the browser. If all goes well, you should see a list of the entities available through your service. Now, by changing the URL, you can actually use HTTP to send a query back to your SQL Server and return data. By entering the name of the entity and in parentheses the value of the primary key for which record I wish to see, I now have pulled down the first record from my table. Bidwix Consulting Services has different branch offices in different cities. We place consultants at our customer locations and we pay them an hourly rate, and there's a billable rate that we charge to the customer. So by customers and branch offices and recruiters and sales reps, we can track such things as the head count, the revenue, and the gross margin. Also observe that if you remove the primary key value and just leave the entity name in the URL, it will return the entire table. Now that we have an oData feed, let's open up Tableau Public Edition and access our data. Click the Open Data button. Choose oData as your data source. I still have the browser open, so I can go ahead and grab the URL to the oData service and paste it into Tableau. Click Connect, and then click OK. You can see that Tableau has basically assumed that any text values in my data are dimensions and any numeric values are measures. This may not be accurate, as some of my numeric values in fact are actually attributes of my dimensions. In the next video we'll look at how to clean this up and create some dashboards. Please remember to subscribe.